Mga kaibigan, muntikan nang nagdebate si Attorney Raul Lambino at saka si DILG Secretary Remulla sa interview ni Karen Davila tungkol sa pag-aresto kay former President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay? And Attorney Lambino reiterated the legal process and the right to due process in arresting the accused person. And Karen Davila approved and said, Attorney Lambino, you make strong points this morning, and I quote. Panoorin natin ang mainit na interview video clip na ito. And right after, I want you to make a reaction of what you have seen sa video clip na ito, okay?
Is it right to bring this before the Supreme Court, or is it wiser to bring this before the ICC?
Well, both.
Because this could be the argument, your argument, before the ICC, that his
Both.
rights were
Both.
violated.
Both. So that's why there were a series of petitions filed yesterday by Attorney Panelo, one coming from Kitty Duterte, one coming from Mayor Abasti Duterte, which is a petition for a writ of habeas corpus. And I believe the two proceedings have already been raffled to a particular justice. So we are going to wait for that petition. And also our petition for certiorari prohibition that we filed on March 11 is still pending in the Supreme Court. Remember, Karen, that was not dismissed by the Supreme Court. What was dismissed by the Supreme Court is our motion for urgent temporary restraining order. And in the order of the Supreme Court, it did not say that it is mooted because PRRD has been flown out of the country. So that's why we are filing a motion for consideration here, because we believe that the right of PRRD, even if he is already out of the country, is a continuing right. It is not mooted by anything, because the right of a person to due process is primordial in our Constitution as it is embodied in Section 1, Article 3 of 1987 Constitution. So it is really very, very significant here. This is a very big issue. In order to have a judicial precedent, it's going to become a jurisprudence, because this is the only country in the world that has surrendered its national to a foreign entity. There were several ICC arrests made from other countries, mostly the sub-Saharan state in Africa, where judicial system doesn't function that well. But they did never surrender their national to ICC. And ICC is not recognized in the United States, in Russia, in China. 3 permanent members of the Security Council said that ICC has no jurisdiction. And now that we are no longer member of the ICC, why do we have to surrender our national? Isinuko natin ang soberanya natin dito. At ito ang nakakasakit ng damdamin, because it doesn't affect only PRRD. It affects all Filipinos who could be charged by a foreign entity and will be brought there for trial and be convicted. But you see, we have our own judicial system since the time of the Spanish regime working in the Philippines. Why do we have to surrender that to a foreign entity?
Okay. All right. Well, Attorney Lambino, you make strong points this morning. So I think just very quickly, because we have a series of interviews still on this issue, what is the next move?
Well,
What is the next move?
Well, Vice President Sara, I believe, is now in Amsterdam, and I think she will be able to see her father. And the primary reason that she flew to the Netherlands is to confer with the international lawyers to form the legal team that will defend the former president. So we have here two legal fronts that we are going to be assisting the president. One would be there in The Hague, another one is here in the Supreme Court of our country, because we believe the Supreme Court must decide this matter with dispatch, and we are going to respect whatever order or decision of the Supreme Court, because this is a matter of not just our right to sovereignty as a nation and as a people, but it embodies the most precious constitutional right inherent upon every person, and that is the right to due process, the right to counsel, the right against unreasonable seizure of a person. Yes.
On that note, Attorney Raul Lambino, thank you for joining me today, sir. Thank you for being on Head Start.
Thank you, Karen. And thank you to all the Filipino people who love PRRD. Bring him back in the Philippines. Bring Tatay Digong back in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
All right, after our interview with Raul Lambino, I think I want to go straight right now, because he's quite busy, to DILG Secretary Jonvic Remulla. Secretary Remulla is with us this morning. Can we put him on already, Secretary?
I'm here. Come here, Karen.
Okay, all right. Let me see if we can do that right now. All right, we have with us Interior Secretary Jonvic Remulla. Secretary Remulla, I wanted to ask you, this is quite interesting. Did the government, lumabag ba ang gobyerno sa proseso, sa arrest proceedings of the custodial state? I'll read it again. Article 59 of the ICC, the arrest proceedings in the custodial state. Paragraph 2, a person arrested shall be brought promptly before the competent judicial authority in the custodial state dapat po ata dinala muna si Duterte sa isang judge or hukom sa Pilipinas, Secretary.
And tingnan natin yung reaction or sagot ni DILG Secretary Jonvic Remulla, mga kaibigan, no? Kung paano siya mag-isip o kung paano niya sinagot yung katanungan ni Karen Davila. Okay? Let's go to the video.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, attorney. I am not a lawyer. I cannot interpret the law, nor am I a competent authority. But I find it amusing that Attorney Lambino keeps on insisting on the rights of the former president. What about the rights of the 30,000 who he summarily had killed without any judicial action, without any charges? 30,000 victims were killed without any due process. Now, if we argue technicalities, I welcome them. Bring him to the court. But were the 30,000 allowed to go to court? Were the 30,000 read their rights? When they were executed, were they allowed to plead their case? I don't think this is a proper forum. I think it's not an academic. I think they should go to the competent authorities. I cannot argue the case. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying I am taking the side of the 30,000 who were slaughtered. They were killed. They were tortured. They were ordinary Filipinos, deprived of their life, their liberty, and they were deprived of any due process. Attorney, please explain to the 30,000, how do you defend that? How do you defend their lives? How do you defend the lives lost? Let's go there. Before we go to the technicalities you are stating, let's go to the 30,000. Please defend them. If
Can I
you
respond?
have any love of country, sir, I'm not finished. Sir, I'm not finished.
Yes, okay.
If you have any love of
You
country,
asked me to
if
answer.
you have any love
Yeah.
of country,
Sure.
sir, if you have any love of country, please defend the 30,000, not the one. If you have any sense of responsibility to your profession, please look into the deaths of the 30,000 and defend the parents who lost their children. Do not defend the one. If you have any sense of responsibility to your profession, be a professional. Look at their cases. Look at the 30,000 before you look at one. You're missing the forest for the tree. Look at the forest, not the one tree.
Can I answer that?
All right, wait, I apologize. Wait, this is not a debate format show, so we've already given Attorney Lambino the chance for a solo interview a while ago, and now we are speaking
Yung reaction
with
ni Karen
Interior
Davila.
Secretary Remulla with Zoom.
Mukhang natatawa siya sa programa niya.
I think we're not
Interview niya kay
formatted
Raul
for debate
Lambino
right
at
now.
the same time sa kay DILG Secretary Remulla. Ba't mo naman kasi in-interview yung dalawa in a one segment? Dapat magkahiwalay po yun. Para hindi sila magka-clash ng mga ideas, no? Pero in fairness, no, I really don't agree sa sinabi ni Jonvic Remulla. So, ganun pa man, well, masakit naman talaga tanggapin na yung mga namatay, marami talaga namatay, no? We don't deny that, mga kaibigan. Pero in terms of technicalities on serving the warrant of arrest, medyo nagkulang sila doon at merong mga pagkakamali yung ating mga opisyal. And also, as my reaction to what DILG Secretary Remulla said na sa kanyang mga sinabi, no, na yung 30,000 had been killed, that was so unnecessary, and that is not good answer for the question of Karen Davila. Napakalayo pong sagot ni Secretary Remulla sa tanong po ni Karen Davila. He diverted his answer, no, sa tanong po. So just to cover up sa kung ano yung pagkakamali nila na nagawa during the operation on serving the warrant of arrest to former President Rodrigo Duterte. So yun lang po yung medyo I laugh it out, no, dahil parang dinivert niya yung sagot niya para pagtakpan yung mga pagkakamali nila. Okay? Pero I also admire him kasi yun naman talaga, no, tao lang po tayo, medyo masasaktan tayo, siyempre marami pong namatay. Pero in that case, 30,000 is the number of lefties, I think, because sa police record is just 6,200, I think, no, ang nakalagay doon eh. So andun po yun sa police records po, mga kaibigan, no. And correct me if I'm wrong kung mali yung basta nasa ganun lang po yung mga namatay. Hindi po 30,000. So natatawa lang talaga ako kay DILG Secretary Remulla sa pagsagot niya in diverting his answer, no, in questioning upon the question of Karen Davila. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Ito lang po muna ang update po natin, no. If umabot kayo sa video na to, can you please follow me in Facebook kung sa Facebook po kayo nanonood, and subscribe to my channel if ever sa YouTube po kayo napanood itong video na to. And stay connected And thank you so much guys, and I love you all.